A quick note before we get into the episode. Oversharing is a podcast for entertainment purposes only. It is not a medical podcast and does not constitute medical or psychological advice. Always seek the advice of your physician or mental health professional.
Let's do some intentions. Jordana and Dr. Naomi, I was hoping you could help me set an intention. Quick background on me. I'm a 31-year-old female and I moved away from my family and hometown after college, and I lived there for 4-ish years. During that time, I met my then boyfriend and we dated for 5 years. We had plans to get engaged and I really felt like I knew what my life was going to look like. To keep it short, the relationship ended with a breakup and not an engagement. It has now been 1.5 years since the relationship ended. I've moved home and I've done a lot of healing. Overall, I have a really great life. I have an amazing family that I now live close to again. I have a great career that I'm very passionate about and it brings me a lot of joy. And I have an amazing group of friends who are always there for me. I also just bought a house, which I'm so excited about and is exactly what I was looking for. While having so many amazing things going for me, I still find myself having a hard time being truly happy. I love my new house, but I never thought I would be buying a house by myself and not with a spouse. I love my job, but I never imagined being back around home working for a local company. While I can't complain about my dating life, I'm struggling because I just never thought I would be dating again and always imagined being married by now with several kids. Sometimes I look around and think, how did I get here? And it feels like I woke up in somebody else's body and I'm living a different life. Not a bad life, just a much different one than I ever pictured for myself. Do you have any advice on how I can help myself fully settle in and make the switch from, wow, not bad for my second choice life, to simple, wow, I have a great life? I'd love an intention to tell myself on the days where I look around and feel like a stranger in my own life. Your guys' podcast is what got me through that very tough breakup and the starting over process, and getting an intention to push me the rest of the way would feel like a full circle moment. Thank you for everything you do. A stranger to myself, Betch.
Yeah. This is life, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, you have a plan for how it's going to go, and then it doesn't go that way. Like, we just finished recording baby steps episodes, and like,
every episode goes that way.
Yes. Yeah. Like, this is how I thought it was going to be easy. It happened for my sister. It happened for my mother. And then it doesn't. And I mean, I know this is probably not what she wants to hear, but what you're going through right now, is it going to feel great? Maybe not yet, but I think the idea that you are growing stronger every day by learning to accept whatever the universe wants to give you in terms of, the milestones that you're reaching in your life. So it's a growth experience. And and also the age is irrelevant, but like, she's going to meet someone at some point. It's just not right now. And it sounds like the rest of it, aside from and she even said dating is going well. Like, I think her life is going well. It's just the adjustment
to it being different than the story you told yourself in your head about what it would look like.
That's it. Like, you create a whole, like, you call it the emotional masturbation of like, I met someone and we're doing this, and like, I'm getting so excited about how this is all going to turn out. And
And the tough part is, like, you don't know what your life would be like if it was the original way you planned. Like, let's say she did actually get engaged to that guy she was dating before. Would she be happier than she is now? It sounds like probably not, if it wasn't going well. Like, let's say I think there's no guarantee that the life that she imagined is any better than the life that she has now.
It is like a fantasy that you have turned into a reality in your mind, that it would have been better if.
Right. When it's like, you could be married with several kids to like a person that you're like not really that into, or that doesn't work for you.
I think it sounds like he broke up with her. Sure. Like, doesn't love you as much as you want to be loved. And
and you could have like settled for that and had the life you thought you were going to live, but like, it might not look like what you thought it would look like.
Yes. Yeah. I do think we really try so hard to exercise so much control over the outcome of our lives, and the best lesson, and it's going to happen again and again and again, whether it's meeting a partner, having kids, maybe you have a kid that has challenges or disabilities, or, down the line, you get retired and you're bored and you hate your life and like, you don't know what to do. You have to reinvent yourself. Like, this is going to happen.
Right.
This is life. So to kind of to change the mindset from like, this is like a thing that happened to me. That's a bad thing. That wasn't the thing that was supposed to happen. Like, this is supposed to happen. This is kind of going to continue to happen multiple times probably throughout your life, where you write the story and then you have to rewrite the story and then you have to rewrite the story again.
And it feels like, I think, a lot when it doesn't happen in the timeline that you want it to happen in, that like that it's going wrong or that it's like off the rails, when really, like, again, like, I think the universe is kind of funny in a way that, like, sometimes it gives you not what you like need, or what you think you need, but what you actually need.
Right.
And then you wind up, like, in 5 years, she could have a much better life than she would have ever had. And then think about, like, oh my God, what if I married that guy?
She probably
and, like,
will.
Was in that other dead end job or whatever it was.
Most people, and I think once you find your partner, and like, I think you're going to look back and be like, that wasn't my person. Like, I don't know many people that move on, meet someone else, and they're like just always thinking that like that one person should have been their person. Like, I don't really hear that story that often.
Yeah, and it's
you lean into whatever the life is that you're living.
Totally. It's very hard to be like open to like any way the world can take you because it's so unknown. And when you have your story, it's like comforting. Like, this is my plan. I know what I'm going to do. This is my step 1, step 2, step 3. And I think when that gets like shaken up, there's just less certainty.
Yeah.
So it's scary. And then, like, you don't know what the future is going to be like, or you don't know if it's going to be like the way that you envisioned it. And that's like really worse than what's actually happening, which is that she's doing pretty well.
Right. Yeah, it really is. You know, that's why sometimes the big picture stuff, like I always talk about, we are not floating, we are soaring through the universe on a rock, orbiting a ball of fire. And you wanted to get married at 31 and a half.
Right.
Like, it's, you know, we're here in our little bubble thinking that we're like the little masterminds of our whole life. And we're going to not only figure out, like, I need to like find the person that loves me the same way that I love them. And I need to find this job, and I need to make all these connections with all these friends, and you know, but I need to do it like in this little sliver of window of time, which is kind of delusional.
It just doesn't work like that.
Right.
Yeah.
So, so the intention that I wrote for you hopefully can take you throughout much of your life, which is having to lean into a life unexpected is a gift that will last me a lifetime. Because if you can learn to lean into these types of bumps in the road, it's going to make the rest of your life feel really easy. Instead of being like, this happened to me, like, I get to learn how to go through this.
Right. I love that. I think it's like, you know, you get like so many versions of this email. And I think there's this thing where it's like, for so much of our early life, you're like on the same exact trajectory as every single one of your peers.
Kindergarten, first grade, second grade.
College, even like entry-level job.
Yeah.
Like until like maybe like everyone's like 25. And then people start to like become more successful than each other, or get engaged before each other. And then I think you're kind of left with this like, oh my God, we're not just like all gonna like get engaged at the same time.
Right.
Because like we just graduated college together.
Right. I do wonder if it would be different if the world was like, you know, some kids went to kindergarten and sat at a desk and did a thing, and some kids went and like worked on a farm, and then, you know, they kind of like, everyone just sort of did their own. Some kids like, if it was more, and then like
it
some
was
kids
less structured when you were younger. Yeah.
Like everyone does their own kind of thing, or like, you know, some schools have like multiple ages in the same class, and you kind of just move at your own pace instead of like, we're all clicking through life. And then all of a sudden someone's 3 clicks ahead and you're like in a panic.
Yeah. No, it's interesting. You should start a school like that.
Yeah. I mean, Montessori's kind of like that, where they have like different ages and you kind of go where you're interested. But I think it is hard to break out of that.
Right. It's a hard lesson to learn at that like quarter life.
Yes.
Sense.
Totally. Well, an attachment is really like linked in there,
you
know, especially with this breakup and all that. But yeah, this is going to make her stronger if she changes the mindset from like, this is my second choice life, to like, I didn't really have a, you know, it was delusional to think that it was all going to be written
exactly how I wanted it to be. Yeah, it's going to help her in other ways. All right, let's do some triggers.
Let's do it.
Our first one?
I will read this. Hi, I have a triggered scenario. I feel like I'm being overly sensitive, but I still feel triggered or bitten. I'm in a book club. 2 of us are single and dating. 2 other members are coupled up, engaged and married with a child. We were talking about dating, and the engaged friend said that she was giving advice from the other side. That phrase made me annoyed and kind of triggered. Do I have a right, or am I being overly sensitive? Thank you. Love listening to you all and the sister dynamic.
I don't know. I was thinking about this. I was like, is that like a triggering
It's kind of
phrase?
like, I made it. You will too one day.
Right. One day when you're here. It's like a little like self-righteous, I guess, or like self-satisfying, I guess.
Right. The other side feels like there is like a good side and a bad side.
Yeah. You're right. As if like being single is a like thing, like a disease to cure.
Right.
A little bit.
Yeah.
I could see that. I mean, I think it depends on the context that she said it.
Yes, I think there's a lot that we need.
Like if she's complaining about a really bad date and then the friend says something about being on the other side, maybe she's like kind of just like going with the vibe that she's giving her.
Right. Like this is really hard for you. At some point you'll be on the other side of this and you won't have to like deal with this and be in this.
I could see
place.
also saying that statement though, just casually and just thinking like literally like there's like, you know,
like
while you're single and then there's not single.
Yes.
Yeah.
Like maybe like, you know, I might be like, oh, well, like you're trying to have a baby. Like, well, when you're on the other side of it,
right,
you'll feel this, that, or the other.
Right. I think it's, but if I didn't seem that bothered about not having a baby, then I think that might be like a more triggering statement if I was like happy where I was.
Yeah. And you do the, you know, on You Up, you probably hear this, but I do think that there is like this tension between people that are dating and people that are coupled where it's kind of like, I don't want you to pity me. I don't want you to like think like that
that I'm like, are you thinking that I'm like a loser because I'm single? Or are you thinking that you're better than me because you're married?
Yes. I think that's a huge insecurity when like, honestly, I think the facts are there's nothing wrong with you if you're single.
Right.
Like, you're looking for your match. Like you're looking for like your...
And some people really enjoy being single.
Yes.
Or like are having a great time.
Totally.
Right.
Meeting new
and not
people,
looking to be on the other
flirting,
side.
like having fun. But I do think that is a big part of what makes dating feel more than just the loneliness of like not having a partner. Mm-hmm. A big part of what really stresses people out is the idea that other people are looking at them and feeling like either bad for them or like, you know, high and mighty over them or this kind of thing. So and I get it, but like, it's like I know so many amazing people that are single, like just as many as I do know that are partnered. So it really is not a determiner of your worth, but that is a fear. And I think it's projected onto other people that are partnered, I think sometimes.
100%. Yeah. So, I mean, I would give this... Again, it's so hard because she said they were talking about dating. It's hard to say the context that they were talking about dating. I assume she wouldn't say this if you were like, if her vibe was like, I'm out having the best time. Like I'm meeting so many incredible people and like, just like having so much fun. I have a feeling that wasn't the conversation.
It was more of like a complaining conversation probably.
Yeah. And maybe like, so that's why I don't think she would mean anything by it. I give this a 3.
Yeah. Again, hard to know the context. But yeah, I would agree. I think it's a 3. I get why she's triggered. But without more than that, I can't give it a higher score than that.
Yes. We need more context. All right, let's do another one. Dear Jordana and Naomi, I'm sitting here with my jaw on the floor after hearing the story of the nesting party, where the expectant mother's friends were duped into cleaning the mom-to-be's house. Unreal and kind of hilarious. Very hilarious. It reminded me of a friend of mine who's taken every opportunity for gifts to the extreme. I'd love your take on what's reasonable and what's not. Here are the examples. I think we should go through them and say reasonable or not.
All right, sure.
All right. We'll do them in isolation and then we'll do them collectively.
Okay.
All right. During her engagement, she had at least 3 showers with many of the same people on all 3 guest lists. I could see wanting to include your loved ones whenever you can, but there was no communication of, you've already given me a gift. I just want you there. So it seemed like she expected multiple gifts. Unreasonable to have 3 showers, that you invite the same people to. I can understand like your mother-in-law lives in a different state. She wants to throw you a shower with her friends, and then your mom does, and then your friends maybe a different one. I'm not going to multiple of the same event.
Totally. And if she did invite you to multiple, I do think it should be very clear.
Just
Please
one
don't
gift.
bring a gift.
Right. Just one gift.
I wonder if she did bring a gift to 3 showers. I don't think I would have done that.
Well, she said there's no communication if you've already given me a gift. I just want you there. But maybe that was like implied. She's saying she seemed to expect multiple gifts, but like maybe she's just assuming that.
Yeah, although she didn't say that she didn't get it. I think that this listener is really triggered by the nesting party because I think she probably gave her 3 gifts and she probably took 3 gifts. That's my guess.
Right. Where like if you did get another gift, I would say like you already got me a gift.
Yes.
Please do not do that. At least after the second one.
Oh my gosh, 3?
Yeah.
I can see why she's irritated.
All right. At her bachelorette, she had another shower-like event in which we were each instructed to bring 2 gifts. This was on top of a pricey location and a very specific outfit instructions. I'd bought several new dresses for the trip. All right, the several new dresses for the trip, that's a little
her
on
choice.
you. You don't really need to. It's not the bride's fault that you bought several new dresses. Unless she said, please buy these outfits for the
Right.
trip.
Strike that from the record. Irrelevant.
Yes, that's irrelevant. Bringing 2 gifts, I don't want to have an assignment on something I'm already paying for, so I agree. I think that's unreasonable.
Yeah, unless they were like, I don't know, like a
Memento.
rubber duck from like one of those machines where you get a rubber duck like every time you put a quarter in.
Right,
Like,
it's something stupid and gimmicky.
stupid $2 chocolate bar or something.
Right. Or like a nice memento from your time with the bride or whatever,
Yeah, like
which
a
would still be
photo.
annoying. I don't like assignments personally. Like if we want to do this, like I'll do it.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. During her pregnancy, the baby shower invitation asked guests to bring 3 gifts. 1 from the registry, a book for the baby's library, and a pack of diapers.
Yeah, this friend is annoying me.
How do you ask guests to bring? How do you even ask someone to bring something from the registry?
You have a link. You
have a link,
to the registry, and then you say also, please bring
Right.
a book. If you want a book, put it on the registry.
Right. Yeah, a gift for the baby's library. The baby is lucky enough to have their own library. I don't think they need a special book.
Which they're gonna spit up all over.
And a pack of diapers, I assume, is for a game or something.
Right.
But like
Maybe.
then you provide the diapers if it's your party's
Although
game.
honestly, I don't even know if it's for a game. How many diapers could you need that everybody has to bring a pack of
So
diapers?
it's like everyone's just supplying your
Yes.
diapers. Yeah.
I think they all were just adding to the diaper supply.
No, that's crazy. I mean, it's crazy just because like all these life events are like, and I could see how being, if you're single and you're attending all of this shit, you're like, you are lucky enough to like be getting married.
Yes.
You are lucky enough to be
Having a baby.
having a bachelor party,
Yes.
having a baby. I'm bringing your diapers. Like, fuck off.
Right.
Like, I should be
Yes.
getting the diaper. Like, I should be getting whatever
everyone
the
should be sending
equivalent.
me just gift certificates to assorted restaurants that I can go and like drown my
Right. And meet some
Yes.
send me money so that I can get like a new outfit so I can get to the point where I'm getting married.
Yes.
So she says, this is why when I was recently added to the meal train list, I was triggered. I now live in a different state and have already sent a nice baby gift. Is it expected that I also send a Grubhub gift card to cover a dinner? None of my other friends have asked for so much for their events, so maybe if this was anyone else, I'd feel differently. I know this is bad to say, but as a single person, it gets exhausting constantly giving to my dual income friends. Am I being too sensitive? What's the standard for these things? Sincerely, wallet wide open.
Yeah, I think I agree. This is excessive. I think devil's advocate, right? Like community. I think we've gotten that feedback before when we like ripped up the meal train thing.
Sure. But then like here's what I don't know about, because again, I'm not in like a meal train culture.
Right.
I've never contributed to a meal train. I've never like had that even presented to me.
Right.
Is this like in lieu of a gift?
No, in
Usually,
addition to.
No, I'm saying for like, but for this
new
person,
mom.
I'm saying for this person, it seems like it's in addition to being expected to give the gift for the baby shower. But I'm saying for most people, is it like, oh, you wouldn't send a gift from a registry, you just send the meal train?
No,
thing?
I don't know either for sure, but I think the baby's born or a baby shower, you give a gift, and this is just like to get you through the first couple of weeks of your, after having a baby. I
Right.
think this is in addition to. I do not think a meal train after a baby is like in lieu of baby gift.
Yeah. No, this
I think
is
it's
annoying
in
then.
addition to. I mean, I get it. There is, the one
And she bought the diapers?
Yeah, I will say I would have been really annoyed by this. Again, to play devil's advocate, there is something nice about this idea of like everyone coming together as a community, especially if someone like doesn't have family near them or like maybe, I mean, you choose to have a baby, you should be able to afford diapers if you're having a baby. Like that's important. So like the idea that you need your community to help you buy diapers, but I get the feedback that there's like a sense of community. It feels good that people are paying attention and helping you through what feels like a rough time.
I could see that more for like as an expectation for someone who has kids also. But I could see why if she's single, she's like, I don't get a meal train.
Yeah.
Like
I have to take out the trash every single day by myself.
And I'm a one income person.
Right.
And like there's nothing that I'm being celebrated. And I have to like find a way to get married in order for like me to be part of the community and like get something from them. I mean, like, I guess maybe if she got sick or if she got something or if she had a promotion or if something, she was going through something, she would get the same. I don't know. But I could see being like, after like being on like 5 or 6 of these, being like, I think I've had enough.
Yeah. Yeah. This is a lot. I'm going to rate this as triggering 1, 2, and 3.
Yes, but it's all from the same person, I think. And I don't think she needs to get the meal train gift.
Yeah, I think you can choose. And the other thing I want to tell all the people is like, you can just say no. I get a lot of my patients that are going through almost like if you're not partnered or even if you are, and like there's like that slew of weddings and bachelorette parties and it's really expensive and everyone's having a bachelorette party and then you have to travel for the wedding and the shower and the bachelorette party and buy the dress, and like you can say no.
Yeah.
If you don't have the money to go on a bachelorette trip, like it's okay. Like I had couple of my friends that like couldn't afford at the time to come to my destination wedding, couldn't afford to come to my bachelorette party, and I love them very much and I have no resentment or feelings or whatever.
I think you'd rather them not come than them come and be just like irritated, like we're writing this into a podcast, being like, and she had her destination wedding and it was so expensive and the flights were this. It's like, you could just not come. It's fine.
Yes. So like maybe the answer is she's allowed to ask for 3 gifts and a meal train and a pack of diapers and a baby book.
Don't ask, don't receive.
But you can also just, I do think that's a theme. Like we were even talking about a couple of episodes ago, like when the mother-in-law was like, are you going to donate to the, are you going to donate to the guess the birth date thing? It's like, no, thank you.
Right.
Not.
Everyone will live. And again, the worst thing that could happen is they're talking about how you're cheap behind your back.
Right.
But like, fine.
And they probably won't ask you again.
Yeah.
And you'll be done with this.
But I would give it the meal train thing. I think in isolation, probably like a 3, but I think along with all these other things, I'd just be like, I've had it with this person.
Right.
And I think I'd give it like a 5.
Yeah, I would agree. I'm gonna give it a 6 for the 1, 2, 3.
For the including all the context.
3 showers and the whole thing, and then
this is someone who like thinks of their life as a very big deal.
Yes.
I think that's the more triggering part. It's less about all the gifts. It's more about like, I think the idea that like this person just like thinks their life events, like everything revolves around their life events. Like even the idea of like asking your bachelorette people to like find these gifts for you or like bring a book and the diapers and the gift. It's like people have other shit going on.
Right. Well, sometimes it's not the person, it's whoever's doing the party planning.
But when it's this often, it's the person, I think. Unless it's the same person planning every single thing.
Right.
Or like even if it was not the person and if it was me, like someone was trying to do that on my behalf, I'd be like, don't do that. That's weird. That's like, please don't ask everyone to do that.
Yes, that's true.
Like if you were a normal person, you'd be like,
oh my gosh, you're right. Your finding love shouldn't drain my wallet. Like it's great for you.
Put that in the card.
I'm happy for you.
Put that in the card where you don't include a check for your wedding.
Yes, this is a beautiful thing for you. I'm really excited.
Well, I think that's the other thing that people don't realize they can do is like gestures. And like a
nice
gesture is a
card.
great way to find out if someone actually it's about the gift for them or about the meaning. Because like I think you can like ignore whatever their requests are and just do something that feels meaningful to you and probably cheaper. And like that is a lot more meaningful and costs a lot less than these other things. And if the person doesn't appreciate it, that's not really what they're looking for from you.
But yeah, validated all the baby showers, weddings. We've said this before. I think there should be more of like, I got a promotion or like.
But then we had the person who wrote in who was like, I'm tired of all these promotions. Do you remember? There was like,
I want to work less.
she's like, someone like your grandma died. Now I have to send you. Like she was very.
Oh,
do
right,
you remember?
right,
She was
yes.
like, last week it was someone's grandma died, and then someone else had a baby, and then this person got promoted, and this person got into grad school, and it's like there is.
Yeah,
I think people should just I think there's too much group collective stuff.
and
It's
then
like
there's
do
pressure.
like give a gift when you feel moved to do it, and then you don't have to register for your like graduating grad school. You could just say like you could just notice that your friend did that and send them a gift.
Decide to send them something.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. It's funny because I do think all the group stuff, it's like almost like this pressured shame. Everyone else is doing it, so if you don't do it, it's because you're cheap or you don't care.
Right.
Yeah, I like that. And maybe, if you're out there and listening, like get ahead of it. If you're really excited for your friend because she, got a promotion or did a thing, like go ahead and give her a gift. And then maybe the next thing you could be like, I don't really feel like doing this one.
Right.
This
Love
is the
that.
one that I felt like connected to you on. We talked a lot about this
and that's more meaningful than
Yeah.
like I just standardly send out $45 every
Yes.
time someone passes the bar or whatever it is.
Totally. All right.
Well, we did it.
Validated.
Proud of us.
All right. That's our time.
Great work today.